my name is Daniela and I'll be presenting the Virgin Atlantic case study. So first, an overview of the content. We will see a summary of the case study, then identification of the problem, and the case questions that includes the strategic options, analysis of the strategic options, which one are the ones that is preferred with advantages and disadvantages, and some lessons learned. So first, starting with the case study summary, basically the case study reflects the struggle of competing in the airline industry and the willing to stand out from this company that is Virgin Atlantic. Virgin Atlantic is a small airline with a big personality, is #2 in UK, however, is very small compared to the other companies, for example, Delta or American Airlines as US competitors. So their main differentiation is that their customer center is not products focused, and also they have a human touch and a warm type of service that makes them stand out from the other competitors. And in the case study also mentioned that they have two main challenges in the next 5 years. One of them is retain customers, that it means that they want to delight the customers so they don't have to, they will always prefer Virgin Atlantic over all other carriers. And also they want to improve the digital presence, but always be aligned with the brand image that they have. So following with the case study, the keys of success for the company is that is customer focus, as we mentioned before. This means that it already identified which one is the target, that it's business travelers. They have a buyer persona, like they have all the characteristics that the main, that like a typical customer would be. And also they want to have ultra cool interactions with the customers every time they have a touch point, even in the offline world or in the online world. Then they are focused on customer advocacy, as I mentioned. They understand the customer, so they know the pains and gains. And also they understand that the travelers or the business traveler have a new mindset. And finally, they have, as a key to success, the digital fund that includes that integrating social media for the consumer conversations. And for example, they mentioned they have a partnership with BBC America for online support with a social network with, for Brit expats. That is kind of thing that we haven't seen before from other airlines. They really try to put the customer on the center. So the identification of the problem, first we have to see which goal that they have. And the goal that they have, that it's mentioned in the case, is that they want to be the most irresistible airline, that the customers, the business travelers would not have doubt to choose them compared to the other ones. But the challenge is that they want to transmit the value proposition. They have to stand out from the competitors that they are low cost, so they have to offer a different kind of experience and services. They want to reinforce the brand image online and offline. And they also have developed deeper connections with the customers in every type of interactions, as I mentioned before. So now we will follow into the case questions, and in each question we will talk about a little bit about the strategic options that we can analyze, the tools and frameworks that can be used for answering the question, but the ones that we will use and the ones that we will not, and an analysis and which preferred option there, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of using this tool per se. So first of all, the first question is, would you consider Virgin Atlantic to have a marketing philosophy? So the strategic options that I identified are, well, the business model canvas to see the company as an overall, and not only focusing on marketing, but maybe see them as a whole company to see how they will be performing and how marketing is aligned to the business the value proposition. Then we have the job to be done, but I don't think it's applied also in this case, because the job to be done is very straightforward. In this case, for example, as we see in class, the job to be done, for example, for a Rolex sometimes is status. And I think in this case, the job to be done is directly to have a good service in the flight, in when you go to a flight, when you want to transport to one place to another in an airplane. So job to be done is not the best option here. So I decided to use a value proposition canvas. The value proposition canvas, then we can start defining the product and services, that it's basically transatlantic flights or long flights for business mainly, or business or very attractive destinations. As game creators, we have entertainment and experiences, and pain relievers, we have the food and the space that that is provided, that is the minimum that they can do, right? As a airline, that's the minimum they can do, and of course be clean and all other aspects. But the main thing is fast transportation. That's the main pain reliever. And the customer profile, as I mentioned before, they are business flights, so the customer job is looking for a business flight, and the pains that they have is that it's long, that it's boring, and the gains that they will have with as taking an airplane, like any airplane or airline to travel, is that they will have comfort and mostly speed to go to the destiny. And well, coming back to the gains and to the value proposition, then we mentioned that gain creators are entertainment and experience, and pain relievers is the food, space, and comfort during the flight. So would I consider that Virgin Atlantic have a marketing philosophy? Of course they have. They are centered on the customer. They know it very well. They know what the struggles are when they have business travels, and they are all the experiences and services that they are doing, and marketing also, and communication that they have with them, it's always centered on the customer. So definitely it's they already have a marketing philosophy, and they are performing very well. So following, the next question is, what are the core management skills needed in marketing for Virgin Atlantic? So there will be two strategic options, maybe the traditional management, that they follow the leader competitor, the one that stays safe, don't take risk. They don't want to make in big investments on the aircraft. They want just to compete as another regular airline, maybe even following and adopting these low cost because of the pressure of the industry. However, I recognize that the best strategic option is to have a kind of entrepreneur management. So we can here use this framework that is the 4 primary characteristics of a successful entrepreneur. And the main characteristics that they have is to have passion for the business, be product or customer focused, but we see that in this case is customer focused, tenacity despite failure, and execution in intelligence. So the passion for the business is that it's motivated to achieve the goals, that it's energetic, it's willingness to work very hard. And as they mentioned in the case, and also I read another articles about the leaders in the company, they are all very passionate about the business. Also, going to product and customer focus, I already mentioned that it's also a customer centered, with a value proposition and a marketing philosophy that is going to be translated in the whole service, and also in the ideas and plans they will develop. The tenacity despite failure in this case is very important, because Virgin Atlantic is trying to be disruptive in this plane industry that we all seeing the same characteristics. Like I think there are not main differentiations between different companies, but this one really stands out, and they have to be self-confident in the ideas they propose. They have to be creative, they have to be visionary, they have to overcome the no's. Maybe they have an idea, the customers don't really like it, or maybe the investors don't really like it, but they're always willing to try, and they are perseverant and persistent with their ideas. And finally, execution with intelligence, it's to be alert for the opportunities, to be a networker, and always be constant in constant learn. Then we have the third question, that is, what is the competitive advantage that Virgin is focusing on? And do you think it can maintain this competitive advantage against major competitors such as United Airlines and American Airlines? So the strategic option selected is a sequence of frameworks, starting for the 5 forces, going to the value chain, and then from the value chain we get the network of mutual reinforcing, and finally the strategic trade-off when we compare them with another with the other companies or the regular companies. So first we will see that the 5 forces of Porter, starting with the intra-industry rivalry, it's very high because, for example, mention other competitors like American Airlines are very big, have many destinies and lower prices. Then we have the bargaining power of the customers, that is high because it can demand better quality or lower prices and easily can change airlines in one flight or another. Maybe it's convenient for them. It's an internal flight, go with one air company, or it's a longer flight with another company. Really, sometimes price it's a big thing that is a mistake. But as we will see later, Virgin Atlantic is not focusing on that. They don't want the customers to be focused on the price, but in the experience and the services. So the bargaining power of the suppliers is high because they are not so much aircraft developers or technology developers for this kind of industry. So if they decide to make higher prices, not only for Virgin Atlantic, but for all the carriers, or maybe be a partnership with a specific airline and the other ones will get affected, it can be possible. So that's why they have high competitive. And for third substitutes, I'm taking as substitutes, for example, buses or cruises, like for long distances or transatlantic trips. And in this case, they have low power because the experience might be good. For example, in cruises, they have all this experience when you're traveling long distances, and they try to make as fun and enjoyable as possible. However, I think it's not compared, or it's not preferred for business trips because it's too long. It will take too long, even though it's the most amazing experience to be 10 days in a boat, seeing so many different kinds of shows. Okay, so finally, the threat of new entrants, it's low because there are high entry barriers, because there's big investment and also big reputations to follow. Many of the airlines have decades working on the business, and they already have the investments and also already have the customer base done. So with this information, or having this in mind and all the information before, we can make the value chain for Virgin Atlantic. For instance, starting with the finance, we have partnership and alliance with another companies to develop different routes and destinations. And also it's important to mention that the parent brand from Virgin Alliance, Virgin Atlantic, it's a music label. So they're used to this kind of innovative and kind of show experiences, like different kind of experiences, and looking for something different, something with personality. So this in the DNA of the company since it began. So in HR, we can mention the charismatic crew. They don't want robots, or they don't want regular careers just doing their job. They want someone that can express personality and express joy of their work. For technology development, I consider that it's eco-conscious programs. Now they mentioned they want to be zero CO2 emissions, and they have programs for that, like they are trying to jump in the green kind of systems. And also BI, because they can have information about the purchases and about the flights, and they can improve with this information from the customers that they have in the database. Then in procurement, I have custom aircrafts. For example, they have a new airplane that is called Dreamliner. Their aircrafts are very different. They have more spaces. They have even a bar inside. So really the layout inside has to be custom made for them. Then for R&D, they are in continuous innovation of the service. They don't, if they're selling experiences, every flight cannot be the same, or they have to change it over time, every a few times a year probably, so they can continue being trendy and fashion in this sense. Then Inbound Logistics is just a generic one. I don't think they stand out from this. Probably food and drinks that are offered on the flight are the main ones. And in service, that's where they have the main differentiation. They have strong personality, they have nice destinations, and also this experience that I mentioned. And what I read, and I have further information, is that they, for example, offer yoga and meditation class during the aircraft, during the flight. They also offer happy hours and the bar. So they have many, they integrate in different experiences. Also mentioned, I read an article that mentioned that they have an scent, like a smell, like an scent, especially made for them. So they, when the customers get into the plane, they can have the smell, and they also can buy candles that have the same smell. So I think they trying to go from different, trying to cover different areas, and trying to make as much interesting as possible. In marketing and sales, we have that is customer centered. That's very important, and they already identified the target, that it's business travelers that already that want to have the most or the best experience from any moment or every situation. They want to have the best. Also, public relations are important for marketing and sales, and also the online community that it was mentioned. The after sales and services, I didn't have so much information, but I get the regular one from the aircraft, that is probably customer service, and also a generic one in outbound logistics, that is flight connections and working with the airport, and also baggage claim. So with this information, we can build the network of mutual reinforcing, having in the center the ultra cool experience. I really like it. This phrase was exactly from the book, and I really like it, and it makes it sound so interesting. So I really have to just mention it many times, because I think that's how they sell themselves. Like they make you intrigued, like what they do. And probably the first time someone wants to fly with them is because of curiosity. Like they want to know what is this cool experience that they want to sell, what is so different. Okay, then in the extremes, in the purple bubbles are the ones that the customer are able to see. So they have desirable destinations, they have an online community, they have personality online and offline, and finally the charismatic crew. And the value change elements that it's part of the network are well, for example, starting with customer aircraft, that it's connected with the ultra cool experience. As I mentioned, they have to have a bar, so they need a different layout, and it's connected with a strong personality online and offline, and also to target the business travelers, because they have to also not only offering entertainment, but as they are long flights, also have to make a comfort for them so they can have a rest during their flights. Business travelers, the target is connected with the customer centered and also with desirable destinations. They don't fly, for example, they fly to US, also they travel to Africa, like the BI and data information about the customers are making them very efficient about offering their destinations. Well, customer center is also related to ultra cool experience and also the online community, and also partnership and alliances with desirable destinations, because sometimes they don't travel by themselves in all the destinations, that they have partnership with another ones that can fly to these destinations and maybe provide the experiences together. And this is also with the online community, as the BBC partnership that they have for the network for the expats. And finally, the continuous innovation, it's related to the ultra cool experience and the charismatic crew, because probably they will have to be trained many times a year, so they can follow these ideas that they have or experiences that will selling in every destination, and every quarter, every time they have to change. So finally, the strategic trade-offs, and comparing the Virgin Atlantic, and at the same time answering the third question that was about the value proposition and if they can compete to the other airlines. This is the tool that we can that is the most useful, but it's it comes from the other one, so that's why it's a sequence. They will give us the answer. So as product and services, we have that it's value price, but the typical airline saying, for example, Delta, American Airlines, however you want to call it, now we will call it typical airline. They are mainly low cost prices or accessible prices, because they will charge you every time. That's why the next point is limited services, because they will try to charge you for everything that you want to upgrade. I remember this just changed, because probably 5 years ago it was they offer you everything. They give you food. They give you food if you have even a small flight, even a sandwich or something. Like if it's a 2-hour flight, they give you a sandwich. But now they give you nothing. If it's less like than 2 or 4 hours, they give you nothing, and they try to charge you for everything, even for water. And well, in the other side, we have Virgin Atlantic. They have a super cool experience. As I mentioned, they have meditation, the essence, the bar, the kind of party situation and merchandising. I also saw pictures like with the Mickey Mouse and stuff. That I think they have different ways to express this experience. So in the Virgin Atlantic, we have a charismatic crew that also will transmit. They're the most important to transmit the cool experience, because it's not only the layout, it's not only the space, the environment, the inside of the aircraft. It's just, it is done actually by the crew, but by the people. And in the typical airline, we have robotic crew that sometimes you see them, they don't want to do their job, like they're so tired, and sometimes they don't want to hide it, and probably they don't have to, but we can see, or we can say that the Virgin Atlantic has very motivated people working as flight attendants. And finally, la limited destinations but partnerships as products are contraposed with the typical airline that have many destinations, and that's why they can be charging lower prices and probably travel more times a day. So that's why they can charge at the price they do. And so linking this with the value chain, we have the custom aircrafts, the constant innovation, and the customer centered. And finally, the value chain for the typical airline is to reduce costs, deliver less services, but extra charge for each upgrade. And finally, be product center, like they want to compete for price and just give the least product that they can give. And finally, the last question is that if the does the digital support Virgin's brand, and what digital suggestion would you make for Virgin to drive the brand forward? So there are two options that can be done: the social media funnel, but that one I will not recommend to use in this case, because mostly is for e-commerce and conversions and sales directly. But I think they should focus, because what they want is to create a community. What they want is closer relationship, and the social media funnel is just focus on sales or in conversions, like click the ad, or this is the kind of goal that the social media funnel has. But the social media marketing mix is we will see in the other one, the other slide, is to how they integrate all the platforms and how they create value in social media. So that's the one that we will use in this case. So for now, I researched a little bit in their own social media, the actual one, and I see that they are the cases from 2018 probably or before, but this photo and this post is from 2021, like for December, for Christmas. And we can see them that they're transmitting what they really do, like the essence of the company, like this charismatic crew. We can see them like they are happy, they're enthusiastic for their job. And also we can see these elements of fun in the picture, these lights that make people intrigued of what is this experience that they're selling, and a lot of people commenting and making comments, or making sharing, also making likes. So they're building community, they are staying in the conversation by posting these pictures. So this value social media marketing mix have 5 aspects. It's a matrix that includes the value sale. The value sale is well, all of them are the platforms or the ways they are creating value with social media. So starting with value sale, we have the web page is a main place to have the sales. They can book the flights there. And also we can have meta search engines, for example, the Skyscanner, that are these pages that compare prices. You can also acquire Virgin Atlantic from this kind of web pages. Then following to value create, that is where you share information about the company and share other, for example, videos, share news. We have the web page as mainly as main platform. Also we have it again. Also blogs, not only from the company but also travel blogs can talk about Virgin Atlantic. They have newspapers, or articles made about the brand as videos. We have YouTube, of course, and we have TikTok and Instagram, and as photo sharing, we have Instagram and Pinterest. As value play, the only information I found about this is the hashtag sky high selfie, that they have a spot. They try to integrate the offline and online life, or not life, the experience or space, because this is an actual place inside the aircraft that you can take the best selfie, and they also promoting this hashtag so you can share the picture and and um, um, and basically, yeah, just continue with the conversation. But I was thinking about how maybe they can include something about the metaverse or something. And as they are trying to sell the experience in the moment, maybe a way to do it was to create their own games, maybe to create own games about the making contests inside with the customers, like a tournament or something, like flying in the sky or getting points or having an avatar even that has to do a little quest, but something maybe developing like a game. I think that will be a good idea, but integrating inside the aircraft maybe, and also outside the aircraft. Like, I think they can be two ways, like doing the flight, but also outside. And finally, the value share is where the comments or the community is built, and they have, of course, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. So for now, I research about, I enter to every of the platforms, and I see that they're really willing. They're understanding that. I think that's very important. They are understanding how the platform works and what are the kind of content that they can share in each one of them. And I think they're doing very good by differentiating the content, but not the substance and the personality, because it's always transmitted in the same way. So finally, the lessons learned is that the most sustainable and impactful value proposition is to be customer focused. I think I reinforced this idea not only with Virgin Atlantic, but in other cases that I've done before. We always see that when it's customer focused, it's the key of winning or leading or being sustainable, and the customers will always come back because they really will feel that they are being understood and heard. So that's one of the most important ones. Then talking about the leaders, they must be disrupted with ideas to add to the brand differentiation. They cannot stop thinking. In one of the articles I read, they mentioned that they don't look inspiration in the other in the other competitor that is the next idea. They take from different industries. So they say, I take ideas from bars, from restaurants, from concerts, from art. So integrating this will make something different. Like you cannot be just following the leader or following the trends. You have to, the leaders have to believe in their ideas and the brand that they are making, because this comes from understanding the customer. So following the people are the key. As I mentioned here, we can see in the picture that the air crew, it's happy, it's enjoying themselves, like they are very passionate about their work, and also the leaders are enjoying their work. So in every service, not only in the airplanes, but also in restaurants, in hotels, the people make the difference. Maybe the hotel is the most beautiful one in the world, it's 5 stars, the food is delicious, the pool is amazing, or different things that you can see that the attention, the service is not good, the people is grumpy when they come to serve you, it's not going to be worth it. So people are key. And finally, um, they have to always look for integrate the brand online and offline and create a community. I think they're doing very well. And they can still, they this case didn't mention TikTok, of course, because it was a couple of years ago, and now after pandemic, TikTok's the boom in social media. And now that I see that they are also jumped in this new platform, even though it's not, we can say it's more recognized to be for Gen Zers, and they are not necessarily business travelers for now. But they start using them because they can find a target in each one of the platforms. So I think that it's important to integrate it and always show, um, not only integrate the offline and online, but be consistent in the kind of content, and to create the community and try to be in the conversation. So that's all that I have for now. Thank you so much for your attention, and have a good night. Bye.